Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Apple report for Monday, August 7th, 2023. Before I click through all the charts, as usual, just want to encourage you to please click like if you haven't already, and subscribe to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel. Share the content if you would with friends and colleagues, and please check out wickedstocks.com, where we offer a full suite of both daily and weekly analytical videos, just like the daily Apple report, daily analysis in the SPY and the Triple Q, weekly analysis in the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, the long bond ETF, as well as two individual stock picks a week that you never see on YouTube that cater to the 3 to 5 week swing trader out to the 3 to 5 month near-term investor, always looking for 20% swings on those individual stocks. Last week, we put out two stock picks, one on Carlisle, the other on CVS Health. You could check out wickedstocks.com just by merely signing up. You've got a 5-day free trial up front. You can take a look at all the stock picks we've done over the last month, 2 or 3. Take a look at all the daily and weekly analysis. And if you don't like what you see within 5 days, you can certainly bow out at no cost to you whatsoever. So let's jump to the charts. Just once again, several months ago, about 3 months ago, we settled above a long-term channel top at 169 even. That set off a long-term buy signal, still, believe it or not, anticipating 224.25. And I'll get to the idea in a moment as to whether or not last week's big sell-off, last Friday's big sell-off, puts a kibosh on by the end of the year. I don't think it actually does. We are approaching meaningful support. In fact, let me jump to that right now. You know that on Thursday afternoon, we settled below the 192.54 to 193.55 convergent channel structures that set off a sell signal, a 2 to 3 week sell signal into the upper 170s, the low 180s. Well, as it turns out, it was more about 2 to 3 hours. 178.15 to 180.60. You can see it here. A combination rising channel bottom over the last, since the January low, and a rising 1/3 speed line that is projected. Both trend defining in their own right. This range able to contain selling through August. And from here, yes, we can push to new highs within, what is the timing on that? 2 to 3 weeks. 3 to 5 weeks, somewhere in there, I suspect, assuming we do hold above 178.15 to 180.60. Now, if we close today below 178.15, next stop 169 even. Excuse me. We do have a weekly channel bottom. The same channel bottom I showed at 178.15 is at 178.94 on the weekly chart. So this is really more for illustration purposes. But if we break, actually, let's just go with settling today, not breaking, but closing below 178.15. My sell signals and buy signals are settlement based on the daily and weekly charts. So if we close today below 178.15, we should unravel back all the way to 169 even. That could be within the week. I mean, that is right about here on this chart. And so if this continues as it did last Friday, 169 even, let me put it this way. If, and I don't expect it, we gap below 178.15, the 169 even formation in reach, possibly within the day. Now, under most circumstances, a settlement today or later this week below 178.15 would then indicate that 169 even within a full week of trade. You can see that down here. I still call this annual support. I still think that this is a solid zone to buy into through the rest of the year, and we'll just see how that plays out. We'll see whether we test it or not anyway, but it would become an objective if we close today below 178.15. Until then, this is solid bottom picking territory as we move really not only through August, but quite possibly through the rest of the year. This is trend defining support. This is an area that if tested today, you could reach for instance, let me actually just jump to that right now. This is our resistance, our breakout resistance to the upside. And I'll zoom in on this in a moment, but it's 192.33 to 193.01. More specifically, 192.33. And this is based on last Friday's low, descending 2/3 speed line. If we rally up to this area, and there's a lot going on there, I just showed how we've got 193.55 and we've got 192.54, 193.55. It's almost pick your spot in the 192, 193 handle. But I do think that if we were to close above the 192.23 descending two-thirds speed line over the next week, two or three, that is our signal for aggressive gains as we move into September trade. But we're a long way from that right now. Back to this image here, bottom picking 178.15 to 180.60. Let's zoom in on the day itself. We'll take a look at descending one-third speed line projected off that all-time high actually from several weeks ago, 186.44. Now I've got 183.25 today as an intraday pivot point. I could have gone with 182.94, which is that former all-time high from January of 22 of 182.94, but I'm opting more for 183.25 because if you look at a 5-minute bar chart, there is a pivot point. You can see we had a low early in the day at 183.25. We pulled back roughly to that same price level. I do think if we push or open today above 183.25, 183.25, 186.44 in reach. With this kind of volatility, I think you should expect as much. So holding below 183.25 will keep the 178.15 to 180.60 longer term support area in reach today. And inversely, if we push or open above 183.25, 186.44, where we can place a daily high, we could trade inside the 186.44 ceiling to the 178.15 to 180.60 floor area all day long, perhaps. Now, if we do close today above 186.44, that does pivot the market up. And with this kind of volatility, it could be within 1 to 3 days where we rally back in a sort of aggressive way into the 192, 193 handle. At this point in time, it's 192.33 to 193.01. You can see over the next couple of days, this channel top actually descends below the speed line. It is the speed line, the softer line study, coming off that all-time high from a few weeks ago, that is not only able to contain weekly buying pressures, we could fall back from here into the upper 170s again, or I should say into the low 180s, upper 170s again, following a test of this 192.33 area. We could trade inside that zone for the next week or two, but it would be a settlement. At this stage, yes, today above 193.01, then we're looking for aggressive gains, and the chart looks something like this. The closing above the 192.33 to 193.01 area, good low for the month of August. The following 2 to 3 weeks then expected to reach into this band of meaningful resistance, the most notable of which is 207.28. That is our new rising channel top because it's based in part on last Friday's low. As we continue making new lows, if we continue making new lows, that gets recalibrated, reconstructed, as does the speed line and the channel top. So this is a very dynamic process of trend identification, and that's what I've been doing for years, and that's the way we roll. So closing above 186.44. Good low for the week. No good reason, I think, to be short Apple over the next 3 to 5 days if we settle today above 186.44. Until then, that is our resistance, and we could trade inside that area all the way down into the 178.15 to 180.60 region, for the next few days. If we close below 178.15, as I said earlier, I do think we'd retest this week, within a matter of days, the 169 even long-term support level, which I have designated as a 5-star annual containment level, able to contain selling through the rest of the year. And once tested, we can meander our way up into this 220s, but not by the end of this year. I think this then becomes more of a kind of a 5 to 8 month proposition because there'd be plenty of levels to take out to the upside. But, if I were to frame the dynamic as we move into September, this is a sell off, this is a buy opportunity. The trend still remains bullish following that January low. So the 6-7 month trend remains bullish above 178.15 to 180.60, and you can bottom pick this area. If you're an options trader, you can reach for a 192 out of the money calls that don't expire for at least, I would go several weeks out on that. You could also, as we test 178.15, perhaps reach for 205 or 210 out of the money calls that don't expire for at least several months. That would be the dynamic at play. I don't think there's really anything else to say. I'm going to kind of rifling through these charts here. Same chart here. Yeah, it is 186.44, our upward pivot point into later week. If we close above it, expect the 192, 193 handle pretty quickly, where we can top out for the week, perhaps fall back into the low 180s again within a matter of a week or two. And finally, closing above this area, 192.33 to 193.01. Good low for the month of August. Aggressive gains then expected through the balance of the month. The following 2 to 3, 3 to 5 weeks, then likely to push into this 207.28 area. I just cleared the 10-minute mark. I'm going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wicketstocks.com. You have a great day.